Well, stunning new numbers show young people and Democrats continue to be the least familiar with Obamacare, despite the fact that the success of the law relies on their enrollment rates. A new Gallup poll finds just 63% of 18 to 29-year-olds are familiar with Obamacare. 37% are not. Chris Plant is a radio talk show host, and Emily Tisch Sussman, campaign director for the Center for American Progress Action Fund. Good to see both of you today.
Hey, Gretchen, thanks for having us.
So, Emily, how do you sustain this program with all the glitches? Forget the website now just for a minute. You look at this poll, the young people who you need to sign up to make this thing run, only 63% are aware of what it is. What's going on?
Sure. I mean, it's actually not all that surprising that young people are the category that have the least information. They're the least likely to be insured already, so they actually have the least contact with the healthcare system altogether. But, you know, polls aside, if we look at what's actually happening and the states that have released the numbers of who's actually signing up, overall, we're seeing that almost a quarter of the people that have signed up overall are actually young people. Kentucky, which is the highest, has nearly a third is young people who have signed up. So it turns out that young people are actually signing up under the law and will continue to do so. Well, you know, this is really going to be sort of a friends and neighbors kind of thing. Like, if your friend signs up, good experience, you'll be much more interested in going into it.
Yeah, but Chris, these numbers are dismal for this administration right now. Supposedly, they needed 2.5 million young people of the 7 million they wanted to sign up to do so to make this thing run. It doesn't look like you could possibly mathematically get there.
No, it doesn't. And, you know, speaking of the friends and neighbors policy, when people find out that it's not what they were promised, that it's going to cost them more than they thought, that they're going to essentially have to pay because of the high deductibles for their health care out of their own pocket, I think that word will spread about that. And it's not just the people from 18 to 29 that have dismally low numbers on this with 63%. The next lowest number is Democrats at 65% that say that they're familiar with the law, which is pretty striking, given that this administration has focused on Democrats and on young people all along. And Republicans coming in at 88%, having 23% on top of the Democrat numbers, are really startling numbers given all the attention this has gotten.
And maybe people who aren't familiar with the law now will be when they start getting fined. In the meantime, the White House launching a new effort now to rebrand Obamacare. The shift focusing from his broken promise and the botched rollout of the website. But could this be the president's read my lips moment, etched forever in political infamy? Listen to this.
Read my lips.
If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor, period.
Chris?
Oh, it is a huge punchline. I mean, we're using it as a punchline all the time on my radio show. Listeners are using it as a punchline. Jay Leno and, you know, even Jon Stewart are using it as a punchline. Bill Maher is using it. This is definitely Barack Obama's read my lips moment. But it's much more outrageous than read my lips, no new taxes, for a whole panoply of reasons that I could spend an hour on here.
Let me get Emily in here to defend whether or not you think it is that serious of a moment where we still remember that about George Bush. Is this what's going to happen to President Obama?
Look, I think today is a rebrand. Today is a hit restart button on it. Since the healthcare law started to go into effect, the majority of the discussion has been about the website. The website was not good, but the website is not the law. There are other pieces that have gone into effect, like being able to cover, you know, being able to get new coverage with pre-existing conditions, young people being able to stay on their parents' coverage until they're 26 that have already gone into effect and are working extremely well.
Yeah, but those are the things that actually the Republicans agreed on. I mean, those are not the things that we're hearing about that are actually problems with the law itself. But now the president has said he's going to come forward every single day in the month of December to say something positive about this. Show a success story. 15 minutes from now, we'll see what that is all about. Chris and Emily, have a great day. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Gretchen.
Thank you.
The White House seems to be running out of excuses for all the problems with the Obamacare website. So where's the accountability? Will somebody, anybody, ever get fired over this?
It's impossible to do something in this administration that gets you fired. It's impossible. You can lie to the American people, you can consistently misrepresent the facts, but it's impossible to get fired.